Good morning. This is Josh Hayes with Hedge Plus, and here's today's market monitor. The headline for today is that we got the numbers we were looking for from the USDA. Now we just need the market to buy into these numbers. With even with record acres and extremely high yields, the USDA still said yesterday that we're going to have tighter ending stocks, and that is no doubt the USDA buying in to the projected demand, buying into these trade deals getting done, buying into our prices being attractive, buying into these countries buying more than they otherwise would have. As these deals get signed, these tariffs get lowered to 10%, and there's really no reason for these countries not to follow through and make these purchases. The market still needs to see that, I guess. The market is still focused strictly on weather. But what we're setting up here with these projected ending stocks, with this projected demand, is still fairly tight numbers, especially for soybeans, with without any weather risk yet. If there's any weather issue at all, or even any issue around the world regarding just grain market in general, you're taking already projected tight ending stocks, which are based upon record acres and record yields, and you got yourself a dicey situation. You would think there would be some risk being priced in at this point. You would think would have seen a bigger bounce yesterday because of it, but it didn't happen because the market, for two reasons. The market is still completely focused on the great weather, which is no doubt it's showing up in rapid planting pace, record pace for soybeans, and the highest wheat conditions, rating conditions since 2020. So I get it. The market's focused on that. And I have to believe that the market is still somewhat skeptical of these trade deals. And the USDA clearly isn't. You know who we side with on this one. It's one of those instances where we think the USDA is getting it right, that the projected record demand that we're set to see this year, we believe that that will come to fruition. And that puts us at a very vulnerable spot with any kind of disruption whatsoever. Here's a look at some of those numbers. So 1.8 billion bushel carry out for corn projected with the new crop, and that's lower than last year and lower than the 2 billion plus that was expected, despite what the USDA is currently projecting as a yield of 181 and over 95 million acres. With soybeans, those stocks tightened up more than expected as well, and that's with a projected record yield. If we don't get record yield, imagine what these numbers begin to look like. They look like pipeline numbers. And then you add in that it looks like China's demand is going to be back. China is trying to order more from Argentina and Brazil, but they keep running into quality issues. They keep running into delays because of infrastructure. Those things are going to get better down the line, but they're not quite there yet. Not to mention, no doubt, part of the deal that they will end up signing with the United States is going to require them to buy some more beans. So these ending stocks being this tight, despite record acres for corn and record yield for beans, makes us very vulnerable. Wheat, unfortunately, higher ending stocks, higher than expected, higher production at a time when global demand is just on the decrease. And I think that's something that's a real trend that's not going anywhere anytime soon. The world is just not consuming wheat the way it used to. Dietary changes and also just a shift to other grains, to be perfectly honest. But yet the USDA increased our production in the United States, and it's just not overall not a very good picture for wheat. Looking at the weather, the northern area, northern plains, Midwest, very warm now, above average temperatures. Increasing potential for precipitation in the upper Midwest and northern plains, and even downright potential for frost in the extreme northern sections of North Dakota and Minnesota. So that extreme and the flip back and forth is something to watch. China, driest region, has shrunk from a little bit of rain, but is still mostly hot and dry where they need it the most. That is a factor that is completely cooked in at this point. China is changing its purchases, buying more wheat than they otherwise planned because of this drought. So it has already affected China's export and import or importing patterns, and their supplies are running tighter because of this weather. And if it were to continue, it starts to affect their corn crop. Right now, it's primarily affecting their wheat. In Russia, favorable rains over the next 10 to 14 days. This extends into Ukraine, so that area is getting some good weather for the first time in a while. Good mix of warm and rain, and that is no doubt helping to pressure and hold back wheat prices. In Brazil, they are getting what is dubbed as ideal rain amounts for their safrinha crop, so that situation continues to roll along without issue. And in fact, you saw yesterday the USDA actually chose to raise the corn production forecast for Brazil due to the strength of this safrinha crop. Looking at overnight prices, down across the board. Pretty darn significant that this is happening given the favorable USDA report yesterday. The more the market ignores this, and that's not just, I'm not just saying that out of stubbornness or my own desire for these prices to be going the other way, but if the markets truly want to just focus on the now, which makes sense, it's good weather and great planning pace. It just means that when we have any issue whatsoever, the market will have to react that more dramatically. So we have to be prepared for that. We have to leave the remainder of old crop sales for the possibility that any issue whatsoever is going to send these prices just absolutely through the roof very rapidly. So we can't do anything there, and we can't get too far ahead sold new crop either, especially at these prices. There's no reason to. So really the only thing we can do right now is be patient and encourage you to protect yourself in the hedge accounts. That's about all we can do because there's just too much potential to the upside, and we have to hold something back and to be able to take advantage of that when it comes. That's all for today. I hope everyone has a great day. Good luck with planting, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.